The functionality is more important. How much kind of problems are impending, not resolving, everything kind of things. We have entered into like left and right. There is a three card. There is a testimonial. There is a social proof. There is a final CTA. But that's not really the website.
Welcome to Design Hype Podcast, and today we have a very special guest with us. First of all, I just really want to thank all of you guys for spreading and showering all the love that you can on the podcast. And we are bringing amazing guests to you guys so that you can gain as much knowledge as possible. So today we have Keerthi with us. She is a young jury at awards and ex Kissflow employee, and we're just gonna dive deep into design with her and understand the nitty-gritties of how design worked at Kissflow, how award jury awards at awards, how they kind of go through the website and how you can kind of do better at it. And let's just start the podcast. Kirti, I'm just gonna get you on the stream. Hey Kirti, how are you doing?
Yeah, good, Avi. Hi. Hi, everyone.
Awesome. Kirti, let's just start the podcast with your introduction for the people out there.
Yeah, sure. Especially myself, Keerthi, and I'm a visual designer. Currently, I'm an independent visual designer. And previously, I'm working in a Kissflow, and I'm obsessed with the design system currently. So I'm doing upskillings and the kind of things around me.
Amazing, Kirti. And I think a lot of people would have seen your journey across how you have grown as a personal brand and as well as a designer in your career. I think I just want to start with this that you did your engineering, you had an awesome college experience. I just want to get to that. How was your college experience, and did you already knew that you wanted to get into design, or how did that thing clicked? So, yeah.
Oh, okay, fine. I think this is a very special question because in my college itself, I found my passion is designing. Um, do you know one thing? I'm actually a biology student in my school days. I don't love computers. I'm not a techie person actually. Even it's a very crazy thing. I don't revel in any places, but I am going to revel now. Like in my school days, I even don't know how to call a person through contact itself. I just go to the button phone, just click the numbers and press the green button, the call will go. Otherwise, I even don't know how to go to the reason. That's how I will be in my school days because I am the lover of biology. Like my dream will be into the genetic engineering kind of things. But some sort of situation, I am into the computer science and engineering. But up to my first 2 years, like every person first day enter into the college, they feel so happy, like how they are going to enjoy the college days. Their dream will be like that, but myself it's totally reciprocal because I feel uh, I just searching for the opportunity to quit the engineering. That's the thing I have do up to my second year itself. Then there is a special moment happening in my third year. Like there is a subject called internet programming, I guess. There is a title come under HTML and CSS kind of stuff. I do some kind of experiments in my lab. I'm really super excited at that moment because mostly in computer science engineering we are doing the programming, right? Definitely we get a error. That kind of message every time I see, I get so frustrated. But for the first time I see there is a colorful kind of output. There is I feel super happy across the 2 years. First time I'm super happy about that engineering. So I found okay, something is there. So I'm going to explore in that way, like more into the web design, like web development, especially in HTML and CSS, then go into the frameworks like Materialize CSS, Tailwind CSS, everything into that. Because I am in my college days, I am bit little front end developer, guys. So, but at the one point, I feel if I want to do any kind of design, the first thing come into mind is can I able to do with this using HTML and CSS? I can't able to imagine apart from the coding. It restricts me to imagine the different kind of designings. So I feel I need to design something, but without coding. That's how I search in Google and research something, I found a tool called Figma. So then only I know there is a dedicated, through Figma I know there is a dedicated domain for designing itself. I feel, oh wow, that is a way to enter into. I feel it's a heaven. Not only the Figma tool, especially I feel the entire domain is a heaven because there is a no coding. Only we are going to design. We are going to do the problem solving in a very different way. So at that moment, I found my passion is towards the design. And in my college days, there is no mentor for me because I'm bit interior area, so there is no people aware about the designing. Even in my college itself, no people around me know about that. Even they said there is a no dedicated domain for designing, and I'm here that I'm so shocking. But I had a hope, like definitely there is a domain for designing. But at the end of the day, in the final year of my college, so everyone feel that placement pressure definitely because I also experienced it, especially in engineering. There is so many corporates come into there, and so many people's places there. Definitely we face that fear and pressure. At the time, I have a moment to decide where I need to go. For the people, I need to say I'm working in a company like a software engineer at the XYZ company, or am I going behind my passion, design? So at that moment, I take the hardest decision. That's I need to go towards the design. Yeah, I know there is a this is not easy to take this decision because in a design field we can't able to get the job immediately without having experience, especially you have a zero year of experience. It's a bit difficult, not an impossible one but a bit difficult one. So but without because I don't have a mentor as well, without any kind of way I enter into a certain path. It's a blind kind of decision, but passion is more important to it, right? So I just sacrifice everything. Okay, I go behind the design. So that's it about my college experience. And I'm attending many kind of web design competitions in my colleges, and web development related kind of files that motivates me more into the designing. That's the things about in college experiences.
Amazing. And I just have a very curious questions about web like design competition. So you said, while I know that there were competitions, like even when I was in college, there were competitions related to, but I think they were more related to graphic or they were more related to kind of I think brand or poster designs. Did you kind of went to the same kind of competitions, or were you able to go to like web design competitions or something?
No, only I narrow down towards the web development competition. But the name is web design, but we have to implement the website using whatever technology we use, like HTML, CSS, or any kind of frameworks. They give us certain amount of time to build the website. You have to build using, but it's more into the development, I know, but that's the point motivates me to enter into the design.
Makes sense because even nowadays I feel that there are very less opportunities for designers for hackathons or competitions as
Yeah.
compared to obviously tech industry. While the design industry is still growing, but even when nowadays, even when I'm trying to kind of find design hackathons or something, it's very difficult for a college student to find those.
Yeah, but in my college days, I'm not entered into the design hackathon, but into the development hackathon. Like I think the name is Smart India Hackathon. It will conducted by national wide. Like they are giving a problem statement of the government. I am getting like Gujarat Road Department problem statement. Like the entire department is in a manual, so we are going to make everything as a online, like complying file compliance and tracking everything and budget kind of things. Everything will be in online. So at that phase I'm handling only the front end, like designing part and front end, how the dashboards are going to be there, how we are going to solve the problem, how we are going to make everything transparent to everyone. So that kind of things. But that also the main part of my career as well, that hackathon, because it induces me the problem solving skill, especially before that I am only do the plain website without any context, without any goal. But after that, I only understood, okay, there is a certain problem. There is a people have problems in accountability kind of things, and where is the complaint, who are assigned to that. There is a how much kind of problems are in pending, not resolving, everything kind of things. So they are especially asking like everything don't be in a table format, it should be in a dashboard format they're asking. In my early college days, I don't know this kind of stuff. So I first narrowed down who are the target audiences, what are the problem majorly they are faced, everything kind of stuff. I enter into that. That's the very first project, but it's more into the development. But I feel I do the designing and development. So this is super experience I had in my college.
Amazing. And I think that's when kind of you took the opportunity of for yourself at least converting an engineering hackathon to a design hackathon for yourself at least,
Yeah.
uh, to start with. But I am very curious about at that time, how did you learn about these things around target audience, getting to kind of shortlisting and understanding their user behavior? How did you learn about that at that time?
Um, Actually, there is a frank answer for this. Is actually I don't enter into kind of how we are going to find the target audience or how we are going to find the perfect behavior of the user. I don't do any kind of things at the time because we have only time as 10 days before the finale. There's a very big story behind it, but I can't able to reveal right now. So at that time, I just only imagine in a very practical way without any kind of UX design methodologies. I just behind the practical way, what's the problem, what's the direct solution. But this is not a way actually we are doing in currently now, but at that my college days I'm doing that. Because especially one of the because I am also facing the same road kind of issues in my area, so I can easily empathize with that. So I have a imagination like so we need a if we have a, this kind of solution, this is super easy to resolve this kind of problems. So that's the one major thing in this hackathon as well. But I in fact say there is a no proper technique I applied. Just go beyond with my rough techniques.
Awesome, awesome. I think at least that was a good experience for you. I think after, I just really curious to know, after your hackathon, after your college, uh, I'm assuming you chose that design is something that you want to pursue. And how, like, what did you get after started? I'm assuming I saw that you kind of started some freelancing and stuff. How did you came across that? And as you said, you kind of uh, in a little internal town. So how did you find the freelance clients and everything?
Yeah, especially so I decided one thing I need to spend a year definitely to upskill myself because I'm more into in the engineering background. So I need to be into a bit amount of design background because it's a very vast field I think, because there is a UI visual kind of separate things and UX and research and testing and how we are going to hand off to the developers and user research, everything will be overwhelmed at the early stage. But so if it's a full-time job especially, it's not possible to learn everything. And I agree we can't able to learn everything in a single pace, but we have to expose to everything as a designer, right? So I decided to be a freelance. But there is another reason to be a freelancer as well, because as a 0 year of experience, I can't able to enter into the any company. To be frank, I am applied to many studios and many agencies as well, but there is a very clear rejection, same message. Some people say even don't send the rejection message. I know there is a stack of application they will receive, but after that I understood, okay, without proving ourselves, how they will believe us, right? So okay, I will spend first effort to for my learning, then I do because and freelancing mean and there is a first client I'm getting is actually in my I already said you the hackathon, right? So there is a YouTube channel we are follow to learn something. At the time we are following actually a framework Laravel. There is a his name is Shardak from Bitfume's YouTube channel. We actually follow their YouTube channel to learn that particular framework. So at finally we are won the hackathon as well. So in a particular live, we actually intimate that person through your video. We are winning this particular hackathon. So at the time, we are into that. Connect with that person, and at the time he had a request, he actually starting a startup. So he had a request at the time. He's the very first client for me. Through him, there is a word of mouth, and there is a set of clients are coming. But he is a very special client. So because he support the project as well, and if in any time I need a learning, for example, if 3 months I am doing a project, I need a 1 week or 1 month learning. If I said to him like I need a 1 month of learning, he's casual said take it. You go to learn and again come back to the project and continue it, because he is also a teacher. Uh, uh, not a teacher, he's an instructor of that kind of stuff, so he can able to understand that learning importance kind of stuff. So he's my first client, and the project is completely into the product design, the entire product revamp actually. uh, it that is I am the only designer to revamp the complete design. It's really a very challenging project, and at the same time it's super excited as well, because challenging is there is a no one person you are going to discuss any kind of problems you have or any kind of challenges you have. But the happy part is you can explore the thing from end to end. You are doing a design from end to end, from the UX to the complete UI and design system as well. You are doing the entire thing. That give a immersive experience to me. But there is a some kind of cons also, like without team members, without anybody, there is a only one person, like you can communicate with him, like these are the designs we have come up with, these are the problems we are going to solve through this design. That's the thing. But this is super special. and i
Sounds
am
amazing.
and I am
You continue.
working with some other startups, like startup as well. And at that time, I am doing both the product design and website design as well. And sometimes I am doing the flyers as well. But and the mo- I, but I feel the most favorite part is website design. Even I doing the product design itself, I feel so. Um, I have so love into the website experiences. So that's why I'm entered into the website field completely.
Sounds amazing because when you said that being from an internal town and not knowing what design is and everything, it's really a tremendous job that you have done so far, finding clients and kind of, I think, leaping on the opportunities that you have got so far, which sounds super amazing. But I think your journey for freelancing started, you did a lot of freelance project, but when did you then kind of decided that you want to continue for a job or look for a job, and Kissflow kind of being the first one. So how that process happened?
Okay. So the first thing is why I decided to enter into a full-time job is I don't have a team. I don't have a collaboration. Uh, so that's the major thing I'm choosing into a company, especially Kissflow. So at the time, I'm actually have some kind of other offers as well in some studios and top studio in Bangalore as well. But I feel I need to work in a particular dedicated brand, because in freelance you are working in a very different set of brands, and you are multiply jumping from, right. So I decided to enter into the single brand and how to evolve from that. That's why I'm entered into the Gizmo. If you are entered into the studio, you definitely have a very good experience, but you are not able to dedicately work in a particular brand. That's the reason I'm entered into the Kiss Flow. One is team, and another one is the particular brand we have to evolve. That's the reason, and yeah,
And how was your, because I know that you left Kissflow recently only, but so how was your experience for the last 2 years at Kissflow?
yeah. This is a very good question. Uh, like in the past 2 years, especially as a first time I entered into the Kiss Flow, I had a scare and I had the happiness as well. Happiness is okay. I am getting into the full time job finally. And the scare is I don't have any experience to communicate with other persons like a team kind of things, but it's a very smooth onboarding. Everything will be going very smooth, and there is a very friendly environment. And my working is especially towards the website and design system. So I am in marketing team, especially under the category of the brand. So I'm handling the main Kissflow homepage, the face of Kissflow, and other brand pages as well. And I am the only person handling the entire marketing design system from the color to the entire module. So that's the very big experience, and that pushed me towards the design system into the more interest actually, because before that I'm not handling much design system. I'm only handling the products and websites alone. But here itself, I am considering the marketing design system as a product. Like I need to set a roadmap. Like currently we are here with the typo and color system with some minimal amount of component. So next we are going to the next phase. So that phase will be the more efficient to the designers. They are actually give the tool to the designer. They are decreasing the time of designing to the designers. That kind of stuffs we are moving to the next level, and I plan to the next stage. So that's a very good kind of exploration. And there is a one skill I developed in Kissflow is I do more research, because in the early stage also I do the research. But in a particular brand, if you are doing anything, it should be aligned with the brand value and brand goal, everything. And especially if you are doing any design itself, it should match with the brand tone of this flow. So I entered into that more research in any kind of work I'm doing. I'm first thing I do is the research. That's the thing I first practice with Kissflow. The second thing is there is a very unique project like there is a one stage enter into the Kissflow. Like actually before that there is a six product, and for one particular stage that everything will be combined into a particular platform in a single platform. So actually before that there is a six kind of look in Kissflow, but after that we have to combine everything in a single phase of Kissflow. So I entered into the research of the brand consistency kind of things. If you are using a little shape in a website, it should have a meaning with that brand tone and brand values itself, and what you are conveying the information through the design and through the colors and the way of style itself saying. Because if you are especially for example, if you are telling this is a unified work platform, so you have to tell even the information also expressed in the shape itself. For example, you can't able to use the irregular shapes. You have to use the circle, because the circle itself tell it's a united one. So you have to merge everything. That's a very super experiences I experienced in that project as well. There are many kind of things. And there is a most favorite one in design system is finally we are doing enter into like in a early stage we are only use the little components, right? Like navigation bar, buttons. Everybody will have that. So in we are planners and we are doing is like it's a module system you're doing. Like every modules like hero section you need, you just drag and drop it, and you just only do the content change alone. If you want any design change like any alignment or color changes, you have the options in the panel. So you have do everything in that panel. And we are going towards the no design or low design category of within our team, because then only the designers can able to explore in different kind of brand revamping or other pages. Because in marketing especially there is a continuous requirement happening, because in SEO side we have a set of requirement, in graphic side, in brand marketing side we have a set of requirements. So we have to save the designer's time. If the task is repeatedly do, you we have to computerize everything, then only they can just drag and drop everything. They simply done it, they will focus on the major research work. So that's the major thing. And at that project I'm super happy with the process designing, because especially from start research itself to develop a hand of that process. I'm the person like how we are going to start a module with the research, and how we are going to decide the layout, how we are going to arrange the information and everything. So that process, I am the person designing everything. So let's give a immense experience and so many insights I'm getting from that, because before in the case I'm just only see the what the content, how we are going to express in an understandable way only alone. But in this kind of projects, we have to think both as in a designer perspective, and we have to think in a stakeholder perspective, and at the same time we have to think in the user perspective as well. So there is a very different set of perspectives involved in them. You have to give a project if a designer is using that module, so he or she had a full flexibility with that. So whatever he or she will come up with it within this module itself, they will come up with the design. So that's the major yeah now for that. But that's a super experience that's give me so much of confidence in website design system, especially because that's the end of the design system. You can't go
So,
beyond.
yeah, sounds amazing because being from an engineering college, doing freelancing, and then coming to Kissflow and doing a lot of stuff, I think you definitely would have got the confidence as a designer that you always kind of thought that you needed to have. And I think that really helps having versatile experience from freelancing and doing multiple projects at a time, and then coming to Kissflow to kind of maintain that brand design system and the pieces, which definitely sounds good. I think the next thing, I know that a lot of people would be kind of tweaking in to kind of get the answer to this, but I definitely know that you are a young jury at awards. I just really want if you can kind of explain a bit what is awards and how did you become a young jury and what do you do as a young jury there.
Okay, fine. Actually, awards is an international platform that actually recognizes and awards the uh, websites with the most innovative and immersive experience in there. So the young jury is nothing but there is a jury panel is there. Like there is a uh, jury and young jury. There is a two kind of categories. Currently, there are so many categories in there, but this is the major one: jury and young jury. Young jury is especially under the 25. You should have a age under the 25, and you have to prove yourself with your portfolio. Like you are the person, like you can able to judge this kind of websites, like more creative websites. Like is it innovative site, or is it a accessibly good site that can be decided by you, right? So you have to showcase yourself like I can do it. So you have to submit a portfolio of showing your works that don't need a much amount of work. At least you have to showcase two or three works. Definitely you don't need a dedicated portfolio, but you should have a dribble or any kind of behance itself. You can just showcase you have that kind of visualize. That's the need for the injury.
Awesome. And what do you do as a young jury? Like you kind of judge the kind of work that people send in, and I'm assuming that you have done quite a bit for so far. So what would you suggest people who kind of trying to get to kind of submit their work at awards, what they should look out for?
Mm, Mostly, they are seeking for uh, the way of web experience should be need to improve. Like normally, if we are thinking the website, we have entered into like left and right. There is a three card. There is a testimonial. There is a social proof. There is a final CTA. But that's not really the website experience. Yeah, it's actually good work. This is a historical convention. We have to break with it. We have to move into the more innovation actually. So you have to consider the interactions you are going to have in your website, and what are the layout you are using. Like it should be it should be, if better, it should be asymmetrical, but it should be understandable one, not like where I am going to be or where I am going to click. That kind of confusion we don't do, but there is a kind of storytelling you have to do in that site from start to end itself. And there is so much kind of things you maybe explored in a website, like you can able to use a 3D, and you can able to use different kind of animation kind of things. But everything is exploration, I accept, but you have to align this kind of stuff with your brand and your needs. That's the main thing in this websites, because everybody, if you are going to awards, maybe you can see 3 to 4 websites. At least you can able to find a set of interaction and set of layout a little bit similar. Not everything will be similar, but you are going to 10 or 20 websites, you can at least found this is a fold interaction I experienced the same in that kind of site as well. But you can't consciously identify it, like I use the same interaction at that place as well. But how you express, how you align these things with your brand and your goal is the super important there. And you have to create a more memorable interaction experience in the web design is a major thing in words. And this is not a impossible thing, this is actually the possible and most excited one as well, because it induces you uh, to break the conventions in the websites actually. Yeah.
Sounds amazing. And I think these kind of tips are really going to be helpful for a lot of folks who are going to listen to this podcast. Because even when I was starting the kind of design, awards was one of the major websites that I came across to kind of look for inspiration, look for the kind of work people are doing all across the globe, which is fantastic. And that even kind of acted as a motivation for even me and a lot of other designers out there to kind of go forward in their journey. And I think thanks a lot for sharing these tips, because people are going to really be using this and it's going to be really helpful for them. I think definitely your journey has been super amazing. I just really want to get to the fun part of the podcast, which is a rapid fire round. So I will just ask you some questions. Which you have two options, or like you can answer some randomly and we can discuss upon it. Okay,
Yeah.
ready?
Yeah, really.
Cool. Okay, so describe your design style in 3 words.
Oh. uh, I feel it should break the normal. Yeah.
Okay, makes sense. What's the last design related book you read?
Don't make me think.
Interesting one. If you could redesign any brand's logo, which one would it be?
Actually, still the date, I don't do any kind of logo design happen, but mm, maybe mm, map, like Google Map.
Makes sense. When they recently did one, that was a very controversial job, but awesome. I think I can change this question one more to kind of, if you could redesign any brand's website, which one would it be?
Oh, brand website. Mm, maybe it's Kissflow.
You only have worked for it so long, and you're just the one who gonna redesign it.
Yeah.
Sure, I think you would be the only one who would be seeing all the flaws, and you were like, "Fuck, I have not kind of improved everywhere." Makes sense, I guess. Awesome. The last one is: would you prefer designing for beauty, or would you prefer designing for function?
I think both is important
Okay,
for the
but if you had to choose one, what would it be?
the functionality is more important.
I think makes sense, because I think that's a very interesting question, because even when I think as a designer and or towards the history, there was no design as such when we started out, and even then things played out well for us as humans. So I think this beauty and aesthetics came later to make the functionality easier. So, but functionality always came first, even if it had the hardest possible thing to do to make one job happen, like supercomputers. They were as big as rooms, but they did the job, right? But later on, as we compacted, people can like take a laptop, transport anywhere. That's when the aesthetics and other pieces kind of came into play, which is such an interesting topic to kind of just talk about. But super interesting with these answers. I think we're almost at the end of the podcast, but I really asked to ask some questions to our guest, whoever comes on the podcast. The
Okay.
first one is, uh, so you have been with an awesome journey in your life, to kind of going through college, being young jury at Kissflow, freelance, and everything around it. What's next for you in your life?
Mm. Next will be I had a long dream about like we are seeing many kind of websites in awards, right? As an engineer, I see many kind of sites. I had a very tempt, maybe we can tell it as a dream, a passion to explore that kind of experience into the web, the real web we are using daily. So that's the next thing I'm going to do. Like I'm going to explore the web design experience in the next level. Yeah, but it's already in the next level in a market, but I have to upgrade myself in that level. That's the thing I'm going to do. And the second thing I'm going to do is I'm going to share the things I'm because in LinkedIn in everything I reveal the exploration part alone, but I don't reveal how I am doing that. So I'm going to reveal everything in my YouTube.
And
In
makes sense. Makes sense because I think while there are a lot of knowledge out there, people can read whatever the hell they want, and I think now it has a point it is saturated and it is overrated. But I feel the process of it is the most important crust, which I think a lot of designers like you, me, and a lot of others that come on the podcast and all across the globe should share, because everyone have a different perspective to design, different perspective to the flow. While everyone comes at the same end point, but their process can be way different. So that's a amazing thing, and I will definitely ping your YouTube in the description for anyone who want to check that out, and your LinkedIn as well.
sure.
So the last question to ask is, what what one piece of advice would you give to a budding designer who would be listening to this podcast?
Mm. Surely the one thing is please have a hope in you, believe in you. That's the most important thing, because in my early stages if I don't believe in myself I can't able to be in this current position. So you have to believe and practice. Definitely you should be go what you are imagine, maybe you can go apart what you are imagine. Definitely keep practicing and keep learning. That's the key to your happiness.
Makes sense. And I think that's a wonderful advice because as designers, and a lot of designers are introvert, as designers, we judge ourselves a lot. We doubt ourselves a lot. We doubt our skills. We doubt our passion. We doubt everything that we do. And that's a good thing for when we are doing for other products. But for ourselves, it's not a good thing. And definitely a very nice advice from you. And I think people should really take it forward.
Yeah,
Thanks,
sure.
Keerthi, for coming on the podcast. And I think this your journey has been super amazing. People are gonna learn ton of shit from it, and I hope that people reach out to you for in case they have any questions or anything like that. I will link your socials below, so that people can ping you. Any last words if you want to say so?
Mm, actually, I give the advice, right? But I am itself, I am doubting many times myself. But but I feel again I have to say myself, believe Kitty, please believe in yourself. Then only you can move forward. Because in most of the time I completely lost my hope. So okay, my journey will going to be end, but that's the point where we need to move, we need to get into the further step. So that's the belief I need to save myself and say to the others. That's not mean I have a super and super confident person, but I have to build myself to be that kind of confident level. This.
Makes sense. And I think as a designer, everybody still does it, even when they are on any senior level or any whatever they have achieved so far. And that's a designer trait, I feel. But but your advice was definitely helpful, because even when we are in our self doubt, we need to have that hope that it's just a phase, it's just something we have to go through, and eventually we kind of designers kind of learn to kind of go through itself. But makes sense and definitely is helpful for people out there. So thanks a lot, Keerthi, for coming in, and thanks a lot for the audience kind of tuning in till the end. Thanks, Keerthi, for sharing your advice, and see you guys in the next one.
Thank you.